Hello. Hello, guys. An easy step to English grammar. Tonight, I have appeared before you just to discuss or share my ideas with you about gerund and infinitive. And you know that WBCS preliminary examination, miscellaneous, Panchayat, etc., all the examinations for job or government service are on your threshold. So, I am going to discuss what gerund is and what infinitive is, and what's the difference between. Hello, viewers. Welcome to my channel and easy step to my production length. Without the knowledge of the basic knowledge of grammar, especially gerund and infinitive, we cannot write a correct sentence, a good sentence, an elegant sentence. Now let us discuss gerund first. And because I am adopting deductive method. First, subject. It is acting as the subject. And what can be the subject? Either a noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun. Okay? But here you see that verb plus ing has become the subject and it is acting as the noun. So, gerund. I will come to the conclusion finally. Let us take another example. I have given you example, gardening is my favorite hobby. Second example, swimming is very good for health. Swimming, SWIMMING. Swimming is very good for health. So you know that swim is verb plus ing swimming. Swimming is good for health. So swimming is acting as the subject. Okay? Now let us come to the third example. For example, serving mankind is worshipping God. Serving mankind is worshipping God. You see that gerund is acting both as subject and object. Gerund is acting both as subject and object. Serving mankind is worshipping God. So serving, serve plus ing, worshipping, worship plus ing. Both are gerund and both have been formed by adding ing suffix to the verbs. Serving and worshipping. Okay? Walking in the morning is really refreshing. Walking in the morning is really refreshing. So walking, W-A-L-K-I-N-G, walk plus ing, verb plus ing, acting as noun. Acting as noun. So walking is obviously acting as the noun. So verb plus ing, acting as noun. Okay, it is non-finite verb. Verb plus ing here is non-finite verb, and this non-finite verb is acting as the noun. That is the subject, and it can also act as object. There is no problem. Another example. Wait a bit. There was a problem, and the problem has been sorted out. First, then my example is reading biography of the great personalities will boost up your energy and enthusiasm. Reading biography will boost up your energy and enthusiasm. So read plus ing is acting obviously as the noun. It is the non-finite verb. It has dual character. First character is non-finite verb, and the second character is noun, and the third character is subject. Clear? So reading is followed by, here gerund is also followed by an object, that is biography, you see. Clear? Now let us come to another example. Insulting a beggar is really harmful to your future life. Insulting a beggar. So you see that insulting is gerund and beggar is object. So insulting is followed by, so gerund is followed by an object. It may be followed by an object. Hello my viewers. Tell your friends that I am live streaming. I am online and discussing what gerund is. Okay. For example, killing animals is really very, very painful to human beings. Killing animals. So killing is gerund, and gerund is followed by animals, that is object. Clear? So we have seen that gerund is actually, what is the concluding part of gerund? Suppose you have been asked to fill in the blank with a proper form of the verbs. So, for example, in your WBCS preliminary examination or miscellaneous or any other competitive examination, including Panchayat, municipal, etc. For example, dash within bracket, killing, kill, killed, etc., bracket close, is very painful to human heart. So with your closed eyes, you can fill in the blank with killing, because you know that killing is gerund and gerund may be the subject. Okay. Running through the rain is very enjoyable. Running through the rain is very enjoyable. Okay? Running through the rain is very enjoyable. So running is gerund. Okay? So there is only one finite verb, that is. Okay? There is no problem. So if you are asked dash within bracket, run, running, ran, bracket close, obviously you will fill in the blank with running, because you have already known that a sentence may begin with gerund. Now let us come to the conclusion what gerund is. Gerund is present form of the verb plus ing, present form of the verb plus ing, acting as noun, acting as both non-finite verb and noun. Non-finite verb and noun. Okay. It can be subject, it can be object. For example, I am telling you innumerable examples. For example, what I like is dancing on the stage. Okay. What I like is dancing on the stage. Okay. So dancing is gerund here. So dancing has been used as object. Object to the verb like. Clear? My dear viewers, my dear participants, what I want from you is response, and if you can understand what I am saying, and what I want is your active participation and a like, a comment, a subscription and share. Nothing else. It will cost you nothing. Okay? So, gerund is a non-finite verb plus noun acting as both subject and object. Again I am repeating, gerund is both a non-finite verb and a noun acting as both subject and object. Clear? And gerund is formed by adding ing suffix to the root word. By adding ing suffix to the root word. Okay. I must expect that all of you will subscribe my channel and Easy Step to English Grammar. But there is a little difference between gerund and infinitive. Infinitive is also non-finite verb. Okay? Infinitive is also non-finite verb acting both as subject and object. For example, I am giving you some examples. Who has joined? Arman Hussain. Okay. Where are you from, my dear friend? Hello. Hello, Arman. Where are you from? I shall be very glad to know from where you have joined. Okay. If you don't want to disclose your identity, there is no problem. Next, for example, to err is human. R, E-R-R. To err is human. That means to make mistake is human. Okay, to err is human. To plus present form of the verb is infinitive. To plus present form of the verb is infinitive, and both gerund and infinitive act in the same way. For example, to err is human, so to err is non-finite verb and it is acting as the subject. Okay? Now come to the second example. For example, to neglect your studies is to ruin your future life. To neglect your studies is to ruin your future life. Okay? To neglect, obviously, is gerund. It is acting as the subject. To ruin your life, future life, it is acting as the object. To plus ruin. So, infinitive is always to plus present form of the verb. Both, just like gerund, it will act as subject, it will act as object, it will act as non-finite verb, it will act as noun. Okay? Another example. For example, to serve mankind is to serve God. To serve mankind is to serve God. There are two infinitives. For example, to serve, to serve. Okay? Both are noun. One is acting as the subject and the other is acting as the object. Okay? This is called infinitive. So what is the definition of infinitive? The definition of infinitive is that infinitive is also a non-finite verb which can act both as subject and object, and infinitive can also be used in the place of gerund. Okay, this is the magic of gerund and infinitive. But remember that infinitive can be used for purpose. Infinitive can be used for purpose. As for example, I went to Kolkata yesterday to meet my ailing uncle. To meet my ailing uncle. Okay? To meet. Why did you go to Kolkata? To meet ailing uncle. So, to meet is infinitive. To plus present form of the verb. Infinitive is always to plus present form of the verb. Okay? Another example. For example, early in the morning, I went to our garden to pluck some flowers. To pluck some flowers. So to pluck, it is the purpose. Why did you go to your garden? To pluck some flowers. To pluck. To plus present form of the verb. This is the purpose. We eat to survive. We eat to survive. So, to survive is obviously infinitive. Okay? So, infinitive can also be used for a purpose. Another example I am going to tell you, infinitive can also be used in the negative sense. And this is very much important for WBCS preliminary, Panchayat, municipal examinations, and for WBCS preliminary too, or miscellaneous. For example, he is so lazy that he did not help his grandfather to cross the road. Okay. Then it is the negative sentence, and in the affirmative you may use infinitive. He is too idle, he is too lazy to help his grandfather to cross the road. To and to. Okay? For example, another example, he is too polite to say something loudly. He is too polite to say something loudly. That means, in the negative sense, it will be, he is so polite that he does not say something loudly. Okay? Another example I am telling you. For example, he is too absent-minded to remember his tiffin box. Okay? Now, in the negative sense, it will be, he is so absent-minded that he cannot remember his tiffin box. Okay? So, negative sense can be implied, or infinitive can be used for negative sense. So here lies the difference between gerund and infinitive, and I think that this theoretical grammar will help you in your examination hall in correcting the errors, in filling up the blanks, etc. In the examination hall, if you can remember all these basic grammatical theories, you will be able to score high, I think. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I think those who have participated in my live streaming class are able to understand what I am saying, and all of you will encourage me or enthuse me by subscribing my channel and Easy Step to English Grammar. Thanking all of you. Good night.